This is the infamous 11-foot bridge that you want to avoid as you have a big rig. Welcome to Meriwether Lewis. We're going to take you to a free campground here. It's right off the Natchez Trace Parkway, and there are 3 free campgrounds along the Parkway. This one is the closest one that you can get to Nashville. So if you turn right, you'll head right into the campground. This campground is free, but it is first come, first serve. When you turn in, you'll find that this campground makes 2 loops and has about 32 spots. Each site is pretty level, and this is site number 1. And there are a few back ends and several pull-throughs. Each site is very well marked. There are more pull-through sites, I believe, here than there are back-end sites. This is one of the pull-through sites. There are several trash cans throughout the park, so you can back up your small amounts of trash and throw them away here, right at the campsite. This campground is big rig friendly. We have seen tents to truck campers to big rigs all throughout the park. This is part of the first loop. We have a pull-through site. Man, I think it's definitely for a big rig, but we have everything we need right there. As you can see, there's plenty of room here to park a bigger rig. There are tent spots here as well. So there's a Camphost here to keep you in line, and they do have a 2-week stay limit as well. Check this out, they even have a little theater in the woods. Be cute to put on a little play, skit, maybe host a little sermon there. There's plenty of seating. Man, you can get married right here in the woods. Come down that little aisle.
The trace was made by prehistoric large herds at first, and they would be attracted to the salt lick and sulfur springs. And then the bison came, and elk, and then people. So that's how we got the Natchez Trace.
Between the 2 loops, there is a restroom. So we may not have water, sewer, or electric, but they do have a restroom with flushable toilets for you. The bathroom smells clean. There are 2 flushable toilets and 1 handicapped stall. They have 1 sink with running water and a mirror, so you can get all gussied up for your hike. They also have a couple of areas here with potable water. Need a map for hiking? They've provided that for you here as well. Natchez Trace Parkway, National Park Service. Come check it out in Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. They have several water fountains throughout the park too. And they post a list of the campground rules. Camping is free. Your maximum stay is 14 days. And if you need a full list of rules, check out the campground kiosk. This is the second loop. It's a little bit smaller than the first loop, but it still has some pretty cool sites on it. So we walked you around the loop from site 1 to site 31, and they've all been lovely, pretty level campsites. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Very secluded, lots of trees. Just a beautiful place to park. So we have had viewers ask us about handicap accessible campgrounds. This one does have a handicap site that has a concrete walkway that leads right to the bathroom. It is site number 24. So even though there's no water, electric, or sewer, every site is paved with asphalt. Every site has a picnic table and a fire ring. So we did a little bit of tweaking in here. I changed the color of the carpet. Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen, but we put in the crocheted blanket that Peyton made us for Christmas. We put a teak bath mat in the bathroom. Added a couple of pictures, some fishnet, a few little starfish, and sprinkled with some pillows.
269, the goose drank wine, the monkey chewed tobacco, the streetcar line, the line broke, monkey got choked. They all went to heaven in a little rowboat.
So today we were a little bit lazy, started us a big fire, and have just been sitting by the fire and reading. Yeah, it's been a nice...
Charging the batteries.
Oh, and charging the batteries of the generator. It's been a nice, relaxing weekend.
No sun.
Yeah, but a nice fire.
Nice fire. Cooling raindrops. Not too big. No deluge.
All right. Let's get back to the reading.
So I decided to pull out the generator. What you see here is 68% of our batteries. We have two 100 amp lithium battle-borne batteries. You can see we're getting a good 30 amps into the batteries. Here we are about an hour later, and the batteries are charged up to 78%. As for the volume is very quiet. We call it a quiet street. The eco throttle on the Honda generator is running at 589 RPM. Here I decided, well, we need another pot of coffee. Right now the sound meter is saying, yep, it sounds like an engine. Eco throttle has taken it up to 1158 RPM. 1253, we're at 93%, and the engine is quieted down a little bit, and we're running back at 560 RPM. 97%, we're putting in 22.9 amps, so we still got the sound of an engine, 67.2 decibels. I decide that what I want to do is basically turn off the fuel flow. Now you can hear the birds, and off in the distance you can hear another generator.
Got us a small little fire here at Natchez Trace National Park. Just me and Fred. We're going to visit Meriwether Lewis Historic Site and show you some of the beautiful hiking trails here, the campground, and there's plenty of free parking with bathrooms too. When you turn on to the Meriwether Lewis from the Parkway, you're going to see a nice place to park, use the restroom, or probably even have a picnic if you like. While here at Meriwether Lewis, you can take a walk along the footsteps through history. You can meet travelers who once journeyed along the old Natchez Trace. Just follow the many trails that are preserved here. Here's a beautiful location where you can sit and reflect on Meriwether Lewis's travels. They have a compass rose right in the center of the benches. You can sit here in this beautiful location and just reflect upon the explorations of Meriwether Lewis and enjoy this beautiful compass that shares all his journeys. Right here at the parking lot, you can take your first hike and journey right through the very first pathway through history. Let's check out a couple of these real short and simple hikes, and we're going to take you along with us. It's my new hiking partner. So we're going to go up the old Natchez Trace. We're going to look at the Grinders Stand site, which is just a 1/10 of a mile up the road, and the Lewis Monument just a little bit further. Since this is in a national park and it is pretty historical, the pathway's pretty nice. It's looks like pea gravel, a little bit bumpy, but if you have an accessible wheelchair, you probably could get through here. So definitely good for the handicapped. The trails through here are very well marked and take you to different points. This is the Footsteps Through History Trail, which takes you back right to the parking lot where there are bathrooms. Very easy and accessible. Even though the trail is very well marked, there's also maps along the way. We're here at the information cabin, which I'll talk about in just a few minutes. There's the parking lot and the restrooms where we left out of, and we're going to head up to Meriwether Lewis Monument and the grave site next. And you can take all these trails straight from the campground. The Natchez Trace is a very old trail and has been very important to our history, and they've even put up a monument for it. This is the Grinder House. It's the location where Meriwether Lewis passed away. It's also where you're going to get your passport stamped and all the park information you need, as well as a small exhibit inside. You can get your stamp here. I'll have to go back to my site and get my passport since I did hike up here. If you're into history and traveling across the great state of Tennessee, stop here. Loads of information, loads of history. If you like exhibits and to read about history, you'll find them right here in this beautiful log cabin. Now that we've checked out Grinders Hotel, where Meriwether Lewis passed away, let's head up to the monument and gravesite. It's not paved all the way, So once you get past the little grinder hotel, you are on just a little narrow walkway. Anyways, we're headed to Pioneer Cemetery. Old Trace Trail may be short and quick, but it is full of a lot of information and a fun little walk. If you can't retrace the steps of Meriwether Lewis on this small trail, no need to worry. You can visit all these things via your car. We have made it to Pioneer Cemetery, where Meriwether Lewis was laid to rest. In the Grinder House, on this spot, Meriwether Lewis's life came tragically and mysteriously to its close. They built this monument, and underneath it lays Meriwether Lewis. Can you believe this big plot of land, and the only monument and the only person on it is Meriwether Lewis? You can spend countless hours going over Old Trace. So many different paths and trails that you can take. Beautiful area. If you're coming here to hike or check out some trails, they do have a restroom for you, a water fountain, and a place to dump off your trash. If you're biking along the Parkway, near the restrooms and parking, they have a bike fix-it stand, or what they call a deluxe public work stand. You can put your bike up here, and then they have all these tools that you just pull out so you can fix your bike or a flat tire or whatever's going on. That is so cool. Let's check out this water fountain and see if it works. It does work. Yay! If your dog's thirsty, they have a bowl for him as well. You can fill it up and your dog can have a drink. This fountain even has a place to fill up your bottle. Let's try it out. There we go. If you continue down past the campground, there's a little area called Little Swan. There's a hiking trail to Little Swan Creek, Old Trace, and Old Spring. If you're not hiking around the area because you're camping here, there's also parking down by Little Swan Creek, as well as picnic benches and places to have a picnic. This area also has flushable toilets, so you can enjoy flushable toilets on your way back or before you hit your hike. So this is Lewis Monument, which is 1.8 miles. So that's just where we came from. So we already took that little hike. And you can also go to the Dye Stone Overlook. That's not far. So Little Swan Creek is a pretty nice little trail wandering up and around, and I'm sure we're gonna end up down by that beautiful creek at the bottom. There's nothing I like better than a nice bridge going over the creek on a hike. Little Swan Creek is a beautiful area to come take a hike, have a picnic, grill out, or just have a little playtime in the water.
All right, it's time for the Meriwether Lewis Campground Cellular Report. Well, you don't see this too often, but the leader is Verizon at 23.6 megabits per second down. That's right. Upload, not too great, 0.21. All right, in second place, kinda, we have T-Mobile. T-Mobile was 4.36 down, but nothing up. I mean, 0.01. Come on. So it was pretty much useless. And AT&T 1.49 down, a little bit better going up at 0.8. If you're going here, make sure you got your Verizon. So we'll see you next time.